We're standing on a bridge that crosses over this very impressive canal that's behind me, which is called the Canal of Corinth. And where we are right now is we're looking towards the east. In that direction is the Saronic Gulf and the Aegean Sea. And on the other side is, you can see the end of the canal, which to the other side is the Gulf of Corinth. So this canal is about 6.5 kilometers long. It's got very steep sides, so up to about 300 feet is the steepest part. Down below, the canal itself is not wide at all. In fact, it's only about 60 to 70 feet wide. And the depth of the water is about 25 feet deep. So it's not a huge canal, but it's extremely impressive, and it has got a very, very interesting history. The canal was cut in the 1800s. It was cut after the building of the Suez Canal. So when they realized that these kinds of canals were feasible, and in fact a lot of the workers from the Suez Canal worked on this particular canal itself. But its history goes back a long time before that. We have to go back to the 7th century BC, when the tyrant of Corinth, Periander, thought that it might be a good idea to do this, to cut this canal, to facilitate ships who, up until that point, had to go around the Peloponnesian Peninsula to go from the east coast of Greece or from the Aegean Sea to the west coast of the Ionian Sea. That trip was about 700 miles long, and it was a very dangerous trip. So this canal would save quite a lot of time for ships doing that, making the round of the peninsula of the Peloponnesian Peninsula. But it was unfeasible at that point to create this canal. So instead, what Periander did was create a road, what was called the Diolkos. It's very close to where we are standing right now, sort of the remains of that road. And that was in effect a carriageway that linked the two seas, the Aegean behind me and the Ionian or the Corinthian Gulf on the other side. And boats would pull up to this side, to the Aegean side, and they would be taken out of the water and rolled across something that looked like a railway, really. There were logs that would roll them across to the other side and then deposit them again in the Corinthian Gulf, thus saving them the trip around the Peloponnese. Many different people at different times throughout history tried or attempted to create this canal. During Roman times, the Romans came to Greece in the 2nd century BC, and during the Roman times there were at least 3 different emperors who tried to create a canal. The most notable, I would say, was in the 1st century AD, and that was the Emperor Nero, who himself came here to this spot and dug and tried to create this canal. He dug the first sort of bag full of rubble, inaugurating the attempt to create this canal. Of course, it was a failed attempt. 6,000 Jewish prisoners of war from the first Jewish-Roman war in the 1st century AD. 6,000 of these Jewish prisoners of war were used in an attempt to cut the canal. Didn't happen. And then other people, the Venetians later on, many different people tried to cut the canal, but it only happened in the 1800s. So today, what this canal does essentially is make the Peloponnesian Peninsula an island. This is the spot, the thinnest, the narrowest point between mainland Greece to the north and east, and the Peloponnese to the south and to the west. So it in effect cuts the mainland from the Peloponnesian Peninsula, and of course makes it easier for boats to get from the Aegean to the Ionian Sea. Of course, because this canal is old, it's much narrower than modern boats. So most of the large modern boats can't actually fit through here. Nowadays, tourist boats and pleasure craft are the ones that use it the most, but it's an interesting piece of history, more modern history here in Greece, and it's really quite an impressive feat of engineering for the time that it was created. And today, just to have a look at it, it's really a spectacular drop down. In fact, nowadays you can go bungee jumping into the Corinth Canal if you're interested in the summer months. So that's the Canal of Corinth. Go across this bridge, which is at the beginning of the Corinthian Canal. So if we're looking this way, we're looking to the Saronic Gulf to the east, and then this bridge crosses over, and this way is the west. That way is to the Corinthian Gulf. And that is the Canal of Corinth. This bridge is an interesting bridge because when ships pass through the canal, coming this way or the other way, this bridge actually submerges underwater. The ships pass. You can see that there's a ship actually going through the canal right now there at the end. And the bridge goes underwater, the ships pass, and then it comes back up again, and cars can cross it. So it's just a small bridge at the beginning of the Corinthian Gulf, the Corinthian Canal, on the Saronic Gulf side. So this is the Saronic Gulf again to the east, to the Aegean, and then the canal itself, and at the other end is the Corinthian Gulf, and access to the west, so to the Ionian Sea, to the Adriatic Sea, up to Italy. So here, the way the cars cross this bridge that submerges when the canal is open to boat traffic, and then when the boats have gone through, it goes back up again. So very unique.